Tonight, on Legislative Review. A look at the week ahead. Plus, Senate Democrats' proposed operating budget passes in the Senate. And expanding the role of L&I as a limited law enforcement agency. From Olympia, you're watching Legislative Review. Thanks for joining us for Legislative Review. I'm Angela Nolasco. Today featured a lot of floor debates in the state legislature, and we start our coverage in the Senate. Welcome to Week 12 of the 2025 legislative session. Another week, another deadline at the Capitol. House and Senate policy committees face a Wednesday deadline to vote out bills that have already passed the opposite chamber. Among those up for votes this week are bills dealing with Washington's Parental Rights Initiative, recycling, environmental crimes, work programs for prison inmates, and more. Plus, a public hearing on a bill designed to encourage the maple syrup industry in Washington. After that, starting Thursday, expect lengthy hearings from the legislature's fiscal committees, including House Appropriations and Senate Ways and Means, as those committees hold public hearings and vote on bills from the policy committees. Fiscal committees face a deadline of Tuesday, April 8th. There are big happenings in the legislature on both Monday and Tuesday. Monday afternoon and evening in the House, floor debate is expected on the two-year state operating budget proposed by majority House Democrats. Meanwhile, in the Senate on Monday, the Ways and Means Committee takes public testimony on a series of major tax bills Senate Democrats are proposing to fund their version of the operating budget. Tuesday, committees in both the House and Senate are holding public hearings on the state's capital budget, which builds schools and funds all manner of construction and infrastructure projects around Washington. Over the weekend, the Senate approved an operating budget plan, Senate Bill 5167, proposed by majority Democrats to cover essential services and tackle the state's $15 billion budget deficit. The $78.5 billion budget relies on the state's rainy day fund, with a projected spending increase of $5.4 billion from the current biennial budget, leaving $7.6 billion in total reserves. It includes $16 billion in fresh revenue over the next 4 years and $6.5 billion in spending cuts, impacting areas like affordable childcare through the Fair Start for Kids Act. Democratic budget writers say it will yield a net gain of $6.2 billion for the 2025 to 2027 biennium and $9.8 billion for 2027 to 2029. The budget includes some key investments, $1 billion for special education services and $175 million for school materials, to increase to $2.2 billion and $423 million over 4 years. $93 million is allocated for food banks, $25 million for crime victims, and $28 million for the state's senior nutrition program. Additionally, $40 million for the University of Washington's Behavioral Health Teaching Facility, $78 million for housing programs, and $20 million for refugees and immigrants. Several taxes are also proposed by majority Democrats, including a financial intangibles tax on Washington's wealthiest, those with assets over $50 million. Included in the proposal, a sales tax reduction to benefit working families, lowering the current rate from 6.5% to 6%. As Saturday's debate went over the 40 amendments, Democrats defeated Republican alternatives, which proposed no tax increases or service cuts. During final passage, lead budget writer and chair of the Senate Ways and Means Committee, June Robinson, shared her remarks.
We didn't just focus on balancing numbers. We focused on building a thoughtful, sustainable plan that protects the services people rely on most and promotes the long-term fiscal stability of our state. But at the core of this budget is a commitment to the people of Washington, the people that we all come here to serve. I know that small cuts in state funding can deeply affect people's lives. I care about people. That's why I'm here. And none of these choices was made lightly. We made $6.5 billion in reductions over 4 years. The reductions are distributed thoughtfully across all areas of the budget to limit harm as much as possible.
Joining other Republicans in voting no on the bill, Senator Leonard Christian said taxing the wealthy will drive them out of the state and create a funding crisis.
But what we're doing here is we're going and basing our budgets on the pipe dream that the rich are just going to give us money. And we're making a budget. We're planning 4-6 years out on the idea that the rich people, roughly 4,300 people in our state, are going to gladly give up their wealth. And so we're going to plan on that. We're going to plan on all of our services, all of our education, on the fact that these few people in our state are going to give us their money. Well, they didn't get rich by being stupid. The people who are not rich are going to have to open up their wallets even more, their checkbooks even more, and start paying for the things that we're making the budgets for based on taxing the wealthy today.
After debating over 40 amendments, the bill passed Saturday, March 29th with a 28-21 vote.
Mr. President, there are 28 ayes, 21 nays.
Having received a constitutional majority and gross substitute Senate Bill 5167 is declared passed. The title of the bill will be the title of the act.
Having passed in the Senate, the budget is now up for the House's approval. Its final version needs to be negotiated by April 27th and will require Governor Bob Ferguson's signature to be enacted. State representatives gathered on the House floor Monday to debate Senate Bill 5209, a proposed measure to expand the role of the Department of Labor and Industries, or L&I, to be a so-called limited authority law enforcement agency. It seeks to clarify the department's role in law enforcement, but with one important distinction: it won't grant L&I any new enforcement authority. Currently, limited authority law enforcement agencies such as the Department of Natural Resources have specific limited law enforcement functions, such as investigating violations in areas like natural resources or public safety. The bill aims to add L&I to that list, which would allow them to be officially part of the state's law enforcement structure in ensuring workplace safety, especially in high-risk industries like construction, manufacturing, and utilities. The bill was requested by the agency because of alleged difficulties with law enforcement during fraud investigations of L&I benefits. Speaking in favor of the bill, Democratic Representative Roger Goodman.
L&I has had difficulties convincing law enforcement to cooperate with them just because of their name not being on this list. And so we're fixing that to let L&I hold people accountable for those who are fraudulently receiving L&I benefits. Asking for adoption. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The bill passed in the Senate unanimously last month, but did not receive the same sweeping support in the House, where it was opposed by Republican representatives who said it could be used to weaponize the agency. Speaking against the bill, Republican Representative Jenny Graham.
Yes, we want to support L&I with something that's reasonable. On the other side of it, if it's not reasonable and it's weaponized, those are steps that we should be taking to say, we understand, we saw that there was a mistake that made. These are the steps that we're going to take to make sure that that doesn't happen again. And I don't see that with this bill in its current form.
The House voted on the bill.
Speaker has started the roll call machine. Has every member voted? Does any member wish to change their vote? The Speaker is about to lock the roll call machine. The Speaker has locked the roll call machine. Will the clerk please take the record?
Mr. Speaker, there are 58 yeas, 39 nays, 1 excused.
Having received a constitutional majority, Senate Bill 5209 is declared passed.
It will need the governor's signature to become law. Unless bumped by live legislative coverage, you can always watch Legislative Review nightly at 8 and 11. And don't forget, we're also on YouTube, and our audio version is on Spreaker. And that's a wrap for us tonight. Stay with us throughout the legislative session, where we bring you all the top debates right here on Legislative Review. We'll see you tomorrow.